Today I'm back to talk about sleeves, specifically how to sew an inset sleeve where a curved sleeve top fits into a curved armhole in the body. This gives a lot of people a hard time, and probably for a good reason. You're trying to fix a convexly curved sleeve into a concave armhole, even though in a well-designed pattern the seam line is the same length on both pieces. The seam allowances are not, and they're going to fight you as you try to put this together. Of course, that's a very simple drawing. Actual patterns can be quite a bit more complex, but this works whether your seam line is in the back of the arm or the bottom of the arm. As long as you can identify the curve for the top, it works the same way. The trick here is to put in an ease, a seam that will allow you to very slightly gather that excess fabric across the top of the shoulder on the arm side so that you can take out the excess seam allowance, and at the same time you're going to do a little bit of stretch to fit on the concave part of the arm. Overall, the order of construction then, once your body and sleeve are prepared in advance, you're going to put the ease seam into the sleeve. You're going to gather and stretch as much as needed to get these to pin together well. That's the real secret. Then after you sew it, check it for errors. You'll finish it as always. First step, sewing the ease. This is basically a basting stitch close to the edge that has no back stitching on either end, and you're going to put this across the entire curvy part of the top of the shoulder. If you bought a pattern, it'll have little dots to show you where to start and stop. If you're making your own pattern or you've lost the pattern, just use your best judgment. Sewing it then, remember, no back stitch. I'm running a 1/4 inch seam, which is right on the edge of my foot, and I'm just coming around the curve. You can see how curvy and shaped this is. When I'm done, no back stitch, but a nice long tail. I might need to pull on it later. You can see that simply the thread tension in the act of sewing it is going to begin the process of easing this sleeve for me. Now, here's where everyone messes up. Inside out body, right side out sleeve with both of the fronts facing you. If you reach through and grab the sleeve and pull it in this configuration, you will never sew your sleeve in upside down or backwards or inside out. Trust me, it happens. Once you get them pulled through, you're going to start by lining up the registration marks. Generally, there's going to be marks for the seam at the bottom of the armpit. There's going to be one at the top of the shoulder, and depending on your pattern, there might be other marks that you line up as well. The real magic comes when you start to fill in between these, because this is where you're going to have to massage the fabric a little bit, especially around the curves. So the easiest way to start pinning it is not on the curve. Start with the underarm where it's nice and simple, start to pin your way up, and then as you deal with the curve, if there is still too much fabric on the sleeve side, gently pull the tail on your gather stitch, your ease stitch, in order to gather it a little bit more. Distribute that fabric evenly so it is not obviously gathered, and then pin it. The other tricky spot that you're going to notice is the bottom of the sleeve itself, at the bottom of the armhole. Where the body has a strong concave curve, the sleeve is going to try to stick out and not line up, so just push it down until it fits. And as I said, take your time. Pinning this without stress is the biggest, single, most important step of putting in a sleeve, so just take your time. Once it's done and we go to sewing it then, this will be easier if you have a free arm, but it's certainly not impossible if you don't. Make sure that you both hold the fabric in such a way that you can apply gentle tension in areas that need stretch, but not fight the feed dog. And make sure that you leave the needle down and gently pick the fabric up and roll it around the circle as much as needed so that your feed dog isn't dragging and trying to fight the entire weight of your garment. You'll see there's places here where I have excess fabric, again, because the way these curves are shaped, and I just stop with my needle down, move it out of the way, and keep going. You can see where my pin slipped, and the sleeve has tried to pull away from the body. If you see that, just stop with your needle down, fix it, repin it, keep going. Again, this is really about finesse more than about speed or even skill. Once you get to the end, overrun your earlier stitch, backstitch it really thoroughly, and then take a check. If it looks good from the inside, then it's time to turn it back to the outside and see what we really have. It's pretty common, even though you try to be as careful as you can, to occasionally get a little tiny pleat or fold or pucker or crease snagged in that seam, so that's what I'm looking for here. In this case, my sleeve went in smoothly, but if for any reason it hadn't, I would just pick out that tiny lumpy bit, plus 1/2 inch to 1 inch on either side, put it back on the machine, and very gently stretch it to fit as I sewed back over it. Works every time. Now, we get to finish it. You do have to clip the curves, and this is always a little bit of a judgment call because arms have a hard life. We need to leave enough threads behind to be sturdy, and yet clip enough threads that when we grab both edges of the armhole and give it a gentle tug, it can pull straight. It should look something like this. So just as an option here, I'm going to reinforce that entire seam. I'm going to put in a second stitch right next to the first one. I'm going to do that by leaving my fabric on the same position at the throat plate, but kicking my needle over one position to the right, which will give me 2 extremely clean, very close, parallel lines of stitching. And I must also prevent future unraveling. I'm choosing to put in a zigzag stitch after I clip the curves because it is the slimmest, least bulky option, but you can also serge these individually or together before you clip the curves, and you can also do some hand sewing. Once all the sewing is done, you just need to iron. Ironing does make a difference, though. You're going to pick a direction. In this case, I'm ironing toward the body in order to move all of the bulk and the fluffiness out of my sleeve. And I'm just taking my time and ironing the ever-loving out of it. When it's done, you should have a clean, well-finished, sharp demarcation between the body and the shoulder without any obvious gathers or puckers, even though you and I both know we just used a gather stitch to put this bad boy in. And with that, I thank you for your time. I wish you great luck and success in your sewing adventures, and I'll see you again another day. I look forward to seeing your comments and questions below. Thank you.